Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for each life path number for July 2024. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you are interested in a personalized reading, or if you would like to look at your own personal numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below, and I would love to work with you. All right, let's get into it. Life path number 4. So we're going to be working with the energy of the 1 as well as camel energy for July. So these two energies, of course, work really well together. So let's talk about it. So with the 1 energy, this is a pioneering type of vibration. This is pushing us to be the trailblazer in some area of our life, to try something new, to be inventive in some way, to use our ingenuity to create something that hasn't been created before, or to do something that hasn't been done before. And it doesn't have to be necessarily out in the world. It can be within our own lives. So trying something new, thinking differently, thinking outside the box, which is something that a lot of times, especially if we're a life path 4, and then if you have a lot of 4 placements within your chart, we can tend to be someone who thinks more strategically, more logically, more practically, and can sometimes have a hard time thinking outside the box or seeing different perspectives or taking others' perspectives into consideration type of thing. And this energy is saying, think outside the box, think way outside the box, tap into your untapped potential, follow your wildest and craziest inspirations and ideas this month. And then find something within that inspiration or that idea that you can hold on to and build from. This is definitely about discovering parts of ourselves that we haven't discovered yet, right? Our potential, our abilities, our, greater ideas, again, the ability to do something different, to release the control of always doing it the way we've done it because that's what has worked. This is definitely an energy that's saying, think bigger, think more, broadly, and then try new things, take a risk. This is definitely a risk-taking type of energy, especially with 1. So I would say be careful about being too impulsive, although I don't think 4s really have a problem with that. I think 4s typically tend to be more strategic and more sort of organized and systematic. The 1 is sort of pushing us outside of that comfort zone to say, take a risk, just be spontaneous. Try something you haven't tried before. If the more that we can do that this month, I think the more that we're going to see like, wow, I am thinking way smaller than I need to be thinking. There's so much more out there. And once we can kind of tap into that opens us up to so much more of our own potential, our own gifts, etc. I would also say there's definitely something here about, of course, originality and creativity. Keeping it original, staying true to your own vision, but also being creative. And that creativity can be messy, right? It's coloring outside of the lines. It's doing things out, that are outside of the norm, trying new things that haven't been done before, because that's where we're going to sort of get the greatest rewards. And that again is going to open us up to thinking bigger than than how the ego is allowing us to think. I would also say, this is definitely an energy that says once you latch on to what it is that you want to pursue, once you tap into that sort of untapped potential or whatever it may be, and your eyes are sort of open to that, then commit to it. And then maintain the course regardless of the opposition. Because that's the thing. Anytime we think outside the box, anytime we do something different that could possibly bring about change, there's always going to be opposition. There's always going to be people who want to cling to the old ways and the way things have always been done because of fear of change. And so you could find that, and this can be in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be about career or creative output. It can be about relationships as well. But once we see a better way of doing things, and then we start to work towards that and start to implement that, that can create a lot of fear in people who are afraid of change. And we're all afraid of change to some degree, but it can kind of spark that, right? And so you could see that you're being met with opposition that you weren't expecting. And this energy says, you've got to find a way to move through it. Don't let the opposition sort of deter you from moving towards this new goal, whatever it is, and achieving it, because you can absolutely achieve it. Might take time, because we're fours, but we'll get there. But it's about committing to it, seeing it through, regardless of the challenges, the obstacles, and the opposition. It is interesting too, because we've got camel energy that we're working with. And with camel, of course, you think about reserves. Camels have those humps on their back to preserve energy, to be able to sustain themselves through long journeys. So there's definitely something here where whatever we're committing to this month, whatever we're starting, and this is very four energy anyway, we have to commit to it for the long haul, as long as our heart's in it. And it's that sort of commitment and that perseverance that will bring us the greatest rewards. It might take a while, might take a long while, but we'll eventually get there. And with camel energy coming through, that just sort of confirms for me that whatever it is that we sort of tap into this month, it's a journey. It's meant to be a process, right? We're meant to tap into it and then build upon it, or become the expert in that area, or whatever the case may be. But it's not going to be that instant gratification type of energy, unfortunately. But whatever we're building is some kind of legacy that will stand the test of time. So with camel, there's also this sort of like quest for wisdom. And the four energy by default is a very wise energy. Typically, fours are more old souls, right? These are very wise individuals who have come to share that wisdom, but, we can't do that right out of the womb. So it's a journey and it's a process. So it's almost like with camel energy coming through in this vibration of the one that's pushing us to tap into our greater potential. There's definitely something here that there's some wisdom that's waiting to be extracted over the next coming months, right? And we'll get some kind of insight into what that is in July. So whatever that is might be daunting, might be overwhelming. We might not feel ready for it, but we have to pursue it, especially if our heart's in it. And that can lead to an abundant harvest, especially with camel coming through and with the one energy. So make sure that whatever it is that you're committing to this month, that you're in it for the long haul, that you're conserving your energy, that you've got a plan, that you're being strategic, but also taking a risk. A calculated risk, I would say, is probably realistic for fours. And be mindful of not being too impulsive or being too frustrated if you don't see instant gratification. Also, not giving up too quickly, right? Don't be too impulsive in giving up too quickly because you're not seeing the results, or because there's too many challenges, or it's not easy. The one and the camel energy coming through, coupled with our own four energy, tells me this is not going to be easy, whatever it is. Not that it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be instant gratification. It's got to be one of those things that we continue to work towards and figure out as we go and build upon as we go. And then once we reach that destination, the rewards will be worth it. So beautiful energy here, fours. You could see a lot come in this month as far as opportunities, new ideas, inspirations, but you are definitely meant to explore further, think outside the box, think bigger. There is this possibility that we're thinking too small, and it's in thinking too small that we're keeping ourselves restricted. So think bigger, allow yourself to be open to whatever presents. And then explore it. So love this energy for us. I hope it's a great month. Take care, fours. Bye for now.